The way you manage your emotions today will echo in the way you experience old age, and there is one emotional skill that stands above all others, a skill that, if mastered, guarantees peace, resilience, and deep fulfillment in your later years. That skill is emotional acceptance. Why is acceptance so crucial for old age? Because aging itself is a long series of transitions. The body changes, work slows down, loved ones leave, children build their own lives, and the roles we once held so tightly begin to fade. If we cling desperately to what was, we suffer. If we resist change, we live in bitterness. But if we learn acceptance, we create space for peace. I have seen people in their 70s and 80s who radiate a serenity that feels unshakable. It doesn't come from wealth or status or achievements. It comes from an inner practice of acceptance that they began cultivating much earlier. They learned to release grudges, to let go of rigid expectations, to stop demanding life to be different than it is. That skill, that ability to accept, made their final chapter some of the most beautiful years of their lives. But let's step back. How do we actually build this skill? How do you, sitting in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, plant the seeds of acceptance so they bloom in old age? The first step is awareness. You need to notice the subtle ways in which resistance shows up in your daily life. Every time you catch yourself thinking, "This shouldn't have happened," or "It's not fair," pause. Notice the tension in your body, the tightness in your chest, the frustration in your mind. Resistance always contracts us. Acceptance relaxes us. The second step is reframing. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Acceptance doesn't mean enjoying every difficulty, but it does mean finding a perspective that allows growth. For example, losing a job is painful, but acceptance says, "This chapter is closing." Another path will open. Aging itself is not easy, but acceptance says, "This body has served me for decades. I will honor it with care instead of cursing it for slowing down." The third step is practice in small doses. Acceptance is not only about grand life events. It is about the daily irritations, traffic jams, arguments, disappointments. If you can train yourself to accept the little things, you build emotional muscles that prepare you for the big ones. Acceptance also has a surprising byproduct: gratitude. When you stop fighting life, you begin noticing what is already good. The absence of resistance makes space for appreciation, and gratitude is one of the strongest predictors of emotional well-being in old age. People who accept more, complain less, and appreciate often are consistently found to have lower rates of depression, better relationships, and greater life satisfaction as they grow older. But perhaps the deepest gift of acceptance is freedom. When you stop demanding life to be perfect, you liberate yourself from endless suffering. You stop carrying the burden of control, and in that release, you discover peace. It's like unclenching a fist that has been tight for decades. Suddenly there is softness, relief, and openness. If you are listening to this in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, the time to practice is now. Don't wait until old age to begin. Acceptance is not a switch you flip. It is a habit you cultivate. Start today with small acts of letting go. Forgive someone who hurt you years ago. Release the need for everything to be perfect. Allow yourself to enjoy a moment without planning the next one. You see, emotional wealth is not built through intensity. It's built through consistency. Just as saving a little money regularly builds financial stability, practicing small acts of acceptance daily builds emotional peace. By the time you reach your later years, you will have created an inner savings account of calm. So let me leave you with this. The one emotional skill that guarantees peace in old age is acceptance. Not resignation, not apathy, but deep, compassionate acceptance of life as it is. Practice it in small ways every day, and you will be preparing yourself for the kind of old age that is filled not with regret, but with serenity. If this conversation resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we can form a community of like-minded people who value emotional growth, inner peace, and authentic living. Because in the end, we are not alone in this journey. We are walking it together.